Oh, MacGruber. Was he MacGruber?
Yeah, he's MacGruber.
Oh,
He is MacGruber.
Yeah.
I actually
And
liked that movie. It
no,
was
I thought it was
way funnier than I thought it would
yeah.
be. I deliberately avoided that movie until 10 people told me, you have to watch MacGruber. It's actually really funny.
Yeah, and then not a big spoiler. I should at least say that there's Kristen Shaw is in it. I think she's a voice
Well, that
actress.
is a spoiler because he's not the last man on Earth.
She's a girl.
I mean,
Oh.
you blew it wide open, though, because all the promotional material I've seen shows him as alone.
Right, but if you look on IMDb or seen the trailer that we watched, there was a girl standing behind him. So
Okay, so who else
Oh,
is on
mannequin.
IMDb then?
I'm not gonna say.
Ah,
So it can be assumed that he's not the last man, and she's not the last woman. There's, in fact, a group of people.
I mean, like there's flashbacks too, so you never know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's true. Now, how did this come about? Because the trailers or the clips,
They have not
the pieces
explained.
that I've seen,
Okay.
everything is very clean.
Yeah. So quick premise: there's the last man on Earth, Will Forte playing Phil Miller, and it starts out with him touring the United States, collecting like famous paintings and like Michael Jordan's jersey and like sculptures and stuff, and throwing them in an RV. And every place he goes, he says he's in Tucson, Arizona. Like he writes it on sign saying, "There's a last like there I am in Tucson, Arizona. Come find me." And they haven't explained what happened to everybody else. They don't really even seem like they have a necessity to, but no one is. You don't see like bodies anywhere. It's just he is the last man on Earth.
Yeah, and there's no trash anywhere either.
Right. It's,
There's no shells of cars in the street.
right. It's almost like they've all been taken away.
yeah, but everyone would still have to plan it. Have you guys seen The Leftovers on HBO?
I hate that show
Do you?
a lot. It's the most.
Have you seen it, Bill?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, I highly recommend it. And it sounds to be a lot like the scenario you're describing. Last man on Earth, if everything's clean and still put together, people were not just spirited away all at once. They at least had time to put their car in park. Like God was like, hey, it's about rapture time.
Yeah.
You probably want to pull over.
Yeah,
We don't want
yes.
anyone to get hurt.
Yeah. I mean, we don't see if there's like been wrecks or anything like that. But first episode was excellent. It just shows a guy trying to deal with being by himself.
Well, it's fan service. It's like, what would you do?
Right, exactly. Yeah, like he's being destructive, and there is a lot of
There's a little bit of that in The Stand as well, as far as before everyone finds each other.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
There's one guy in particular that goes to Gary, Indiana, and burns down the refineries.
That's Trash Can Man.
Trash
right?
can man.
That's right.
Something like that.
Yep.
yeah. They don't avoid the exposition. Like he talks to God, and he makes a joke about how Castaway had it all wrong. He'll never talk to a ball, and then like
Speaking of that, okay, we see him talking to a football.
right,
We see him talking to a mannequin,
yes,
and this is like Castaway and I Am Legend.
right.
Does the film do that a lot as far as making a reference to other similar stories?
Yeah, they it seems like that's part of their goal. I mean, like this one was like very direct. He says he's watching Castaway and saying who would ever think of that? And then like 30 days later he has a whole bar full of friends and they're all different types of balls. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Hey, how's it going, Phil? Anyone want a drink? Am I the only one that's going to drink tonight?" Like he's like getting mad at him.
Really? That sounds like just shortcut humor.
I mean, it is very like yeah.
He is from Saturday Night Live,
Right.
so there's an element of that, I suppose.
Yeah, it's like
Like total screwball humor.
yeah.
I just wanted to say screwball.
Yeah, no, that's the type of humor. It's not like a lot. There's some thought, but it's really just, like this is funny if he would say that. And he said it.
Yeah.
Like he
It's
has to deal
not-
with making a bathroom, so he like drills a hole in a in a diving board and makes a whole pool his bathroom.
Oh wow. I hope that's something that they revisit in like season 8.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so episode 1's that. Episode 2, he then meets the Kristen Shaw. So then it becomes, instead of him just being stuck by himself, he's talking to Kristen Shaw. She's playing her typical character. You know her from she does what's the something burger, Bob's Burgers. She's a voice on that. She was on The Daily Show. She has a high pitched voice.
Oh, the young girl on the Daily Show.
Yeah, where she's like, she has a very, very specific voice that you
Yes.
can, yeah. well, she's, like he meets her and then like, he's just been like, I'm the last man on earth. I can do whatever I want. And then he's talking to her and she's like, are you going to stop at that stop sign? And he's like, what? And she's like, it's the law. And she's like, we're the only two people here. We're not going to hit anybody. Like we just stop at the stop. There's no reason to stop at a stop sign. So he's like, so it goes from like, it's never a survival thing. Like he has everything he needs to survive. So they never really talk about how is he getting by because he lives in a mansion. He does whatever he wants. And it's more about him and her social interactions. And like they do the direct joke, like, remember that story where it says, if you're the last woman on earth, I wouldn't sleep with you? That's what's going on right now. Like,
Oh, good. Cute.
yeah.
I mean, poor fella, but still.
Yeah. Like it's all, I don't know. It's really funny. Like they take like everything's to like times 10. Like, like at one point he's thinking about committing suicide and he comes up with like the most elaborate way to do such a thing. Like everything, like he has the whole world of it as a disposal. So he does things, for fun. He uses a flamethrower or stuff like that. It's like, if you had no rules and you're a guy, what would you do? And then now the only girl on earth is following rules. And you're like, am I, like, what am I
Starting to sound kind of like a sitcom.
Yeah, like a Rob
describing it.
Schneider movie.
Yeah.
Also.
No, it would be a Saturday Night Live spin-off movie. That's the feel it has. But
Yeah.
it's good. The comedy's like laugh out loud funny. His and her chemistry are excellent. Like they play off each other really well. Like it looks a lot like they're just like going off script.
Is there a laugh track?
No.
Oh, it's
That would be funny if there was, right?
yeah. Well, that would mean like, oh, cool. I never have to watch this.
No.
Whereas now,
How long is it? A half hour or an hour?
Half hour.
Okay.
I think the first 2 episodes were. That's why I wasn't too worried about the spoiler because I think the first 2 episodes were back to back.
Right. Well, if it happens in the first few episodes, it's not a spoiler. They're establishing what the show is.
Yeah. But no, I think it's worth a watch just for like interesting look on literally being the last person on earth and like how it's not like this scary thing. It's just like more scary, like how you deal with yourself than how you deal with the world. Like there's no zombies to be worried about, no nothing. It's just what do you do with yourself all day?
that's an interesting so what if I'm just kind of generally turned off by network TV comedies? Like I really haven't found one that I've enjoyed in years.
You haven't? And did you watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia or Archer?
So those were up the dial, right? Those were cable comedies,
FX.
and they
Yeah.
get closer. Once you get into cable territory, you're able to get. It seems like they've been able to push better products.
Yeah, I would say that these like those are 2 closer comparisons to the tone and the level. It's not like cheap humor or like like it's smarter humor that it has it's closer to Archer and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia for the type of humor it uses.
That sounds like I may have to check it out.
Yeah, I mean, Will Forte, like his delivery, it's like he's always telling a joke by himself. So like it's like he's very dependent on him being funny, and he just lands it every time. Like Kristen Shaw, she's a catalyst more than she's funny, but she's more of a catalyst. It's all him, just like even like the little facial expression, he lands perfectly, and you're just like it's really good.
He is one of those just inherently hilarious people.
Yeah.
Although I've seen very, very little
Yeah,
of his
I mean,
work.
he made this show. Like he's the one that like it was like his idea and stuff like that. So he has a lot of control on it.
How are they going to keep it up, though?
I think because of where it's heading, like he's going to, like they're probably going to find like what I expect to happen is that there'll be people that show up for part of it and then leave. Like people will pass by.
Cameos.
Yeah, cameos.
So you don't see the cast expanding.
maybe like 1 or 2 more people.
Do the characters have a long-term goal?
No, they're just like him and her are there to make babies. Like that's what she says. Like, you know why we're here? To procreate. And he's like, ugh, because he has no desire to be with her at all. And instead, so that's like her only goal. Like they have to go through like he's like, will you sleep with me? He's like, yes, I'll sleep with you. And she's like, wait, we have to be married first. And he's like he goes out inside and screams for like a minute. He's like, I'll be right back. He's just like, wow. And then he comes back in. He's like, we have to get married. And she's like, yeah, dummy. Like, of course we have to get married. I'm not going to have a bunch of bastard children running around the earth. And he's like, yeah, that's how Yeah, it's I don't know. It's all funny. I like it.
Okay.
Um,
Have you ever seen that show where everyone on Earth goes unconscious at the same time for about, I don't know, a minute, and they all see glimpses of their future,
yeah,
like 9 months
I
ahead?
cannot remember what that was though.
That was
I'll-
Heroes, right?
No,
No,
I want to say it was called Flash Forward,
that
but
sounds right.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
It does something similar though, as far as gosh, vaguely similar.
yeah, no,
As far as the tone of sci-fi.
yeah, no, I can see that. But I mean, I see what you're saying, but no, I don't know. This is like Saturday Night Live skit. Like that's how like a Saturday Night Live presented movie type thing.
Does it have potential beyond a single season? Like, I see the first question being, well, how are they going to make it through the season? But then,
I think it's well, if it was on any other channel, I would assume that they didn't intend it to be a long series, but it's on Fox. I don't see them
Yeah, Fox will not let go until the ratings drop.
right. So
have they released? What's the last good Fox comedy? Family Guy?
Glee was very popular,
Was it?
which
Was
I
that
believe
good?
is Fox, right?
I don't
yeah,
know.
I think it was Fox.
Is it?
Uh,
But
I never got past the second season. The first season was alright, and then from what I've heard, it became a parody of itself.
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
That's
Oh,
that's the criticism I've heard of that show. And then Fox has Simpsons, so
but that show seems to. I don't know. I had a very limited run of The Simpsons in my life, maybe a year or two, but it seems to have fallen off for everybody. Or-
well, the
or has
point is that as long as they get the viewership, they don't care. They will let it ride.
Actually, that's a good point. And a whole lot of people just sit in front of their TV and like it's not to pay attention to what's on; it's to use electricity while they're home.
I don't see this show actually appealing to a wide audience. Like maybe it'll find its audience, but like it's not your typical, like you said, laugh track comedy that seems to be still popular. I mean, I guess Modern Family. Well, Modern Family is more popular when it comes to awards than its actual viewership.
That's Fox also, right?
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, I've actually seen an episode of that, and
Or
it
is it
has
ABC?
no laugh track.
No, that's ABC.
Is it? Oh
Yeah, I want to say.
I'm
man,
not
I was
sure.
about to put a check in Fox's column because that
No.
one had no laugh track because they said funny stuff,
Yeah.
and then you could actually watch it.
The one trope Modern Family does is where they talk directly into the camera, like it's like a mockumentary or something, like like The Office did and Parks and Recs does. So it does have that trope that it's following, if that makes sense.
I actually haven't watched either of those shows.
Yeah, like The Office started it where like it's a live interview, like they're being interviewed and then being filmed, and then the
Yeah.
first season of Modern Family had more of that feel than it's kind of progressed away from it, but they still talk to the camera
Mhm.
for whatever reason, like.
I think that's just a fourth wall
Right.
type
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah, like where The Office actually acknowledged it being a show.
Yeah. And The Office actually came back around to that,
Yeah.
where in the last season, the documentary was finished. And
Oh, is that
it
the
actually
truth?
got published
Yeah.
on PBS or something.
And then the Parks and Rec is more of the fourth wall breaking. It's not really they don't pretend like they're shooting a documentary type thing. But that's the only thing like with Modern Family that was like when it first came out, I was like, oh, another one of those shows doing this, but it's its own.
It did it very well.
Yeah, it's really good. It still does it very well. But no, I think this show is excellent. I think I enjoy it as much as I enjoy any comedy I've seen on TV recently.
See, saying that, I'm like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm talking like the high tier. Like I
Yeah.
put Modern Family. So like early, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's kind of waned off.
has it? I
Yeah.
kind of waned off. of it.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. Archer's still excellent though.
I did finally start Archer Vice like a week ago,
Yeah.
and it looks like it's pretty great.
They found a way to tell the same jokes, but different enough that it.
Yeah, danger zone.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But no, I would say. I mean, it's different because it's a TV show, but I would say catch up on it and at least see where it goes.
If you're going to start watching it, start now.
Yeah.
So that way you can be in the loop.
Yeah. And
Oh, you think this is something people are gonna start like quoting at work and stuff?
no,
Like
I can see it be that to
is
that
it?
point. But like they have to figure out how they're like. That's why I'm interested is how they're going to continue. Like,
I think that's the thing that's going to kill this show. I'm just speculating here.
mm,
But I think a lot of people are going to wonder, well, how many jokes can you really make about this? and
Right.
then they're just not even gonna watch.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be the killer.
Yeah. No, I expect it to probably last a season.
Yeah.
Or last a season as being good and then have a second season
Yeah.
and then be done.
He's like, I didn't think this would happen.
Yeah.
I
It's
didn't
like,
plan
hey,
for
Will,
that."
you've been renewed. He's like, say what again?
Yeah. Oh no.
Okay, this should be funny.
Yeah. My concern would be that I could see them already just trying to build a cast of characters and that just destroying what the show seems
Yeah.
to have set out to do. And then it would. But again, I haven't even seen an episode. I've only seen a trailer.
No,
But it seems like it only survived the pilot with the initial concept intact.
no, I agree.
At
yeah.
the very least, they're gonna be pressured to add more cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the worst thing they could do is celebrity cameos. Like Kevin Hart wanders
Yeah.
through the town.
Bill Murray, right?
Yeah.